And now, an Envision Financial Podcast with Luke Smith on Canberra's 2CC.
Luke Smith, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Here we are on a Friday afternoon, and I tell you what, it's absolutely cooking outside, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yes, it's the water coming out of the earth and the humidity and the heat, and we can't seem to get it this week. It's been fresh, it's been wet, it's been dry, it's been hot. It's humid and sticky. We'll all want to play golf tomorrow. It's going to rain,
It's about 32 degrees now, but it was up to about 34 a little while ago. So it has been a very, very warm day. But that's because we're approaching Christmas. You know that.
Yes, we are.
Here we are. We're officially in summertime. And it's that time of the year when our thoughts turn to buying as many gifts as we can for the people we care about and lavishing them with love and goodwill and cheer.
Yes.
Unfortunately, sometimes that can send us broke, can't it?
Yes.
Yes. What do we need to do, Luke, to enjoy Christmas without blowing the bank?
And look, exactly right. A little bit of fun today. Nothing too serious because we've been serious for most of the year. So today's just about sort of managing some expectations and trying to have a few little tools that you have available to you to not get to January's credit card statement and go, and then dilute the joy you've had over the Christmas break.
No. You don't have the pain until after New Year. So the joy is not diluted. You have the joy. The trouble is it comes to an end.
True, and you've got to pay the piper at some point. So today we're going to have a chat about some things people can do to try and just make sure that it doesn't get out of control. And I think there are a few little things that people can keep in mind that can be very, very valuable.
There's an interesting story that we're going to be covering a little bit later on today about Christmas waste. People being given gifts that they don't actually want.
Yeah.
And they end up getting thrown away. And that's one of the places we can start, isn't it? Make sure that the people you're giving gifts to actually want the gifts you're giving them.
And the first bullet point I had here on my list is ask them what they want. Because we've always got that relative that you don't know what to buy for, you feel obligated to buy for, or they're coming over and you haven't seen them for 3 years, you don't even know what size they are. So you don't risk buying certain things. Then you buy something that's either completely useless or, as you say, ends up in the garage, thrown in the back of a cupboard, and never used or worn.
Well, people joke about socks and jocks, but at least they're useful.
100%, that's right. And look, you can never have enough of them.
Because they keep disappearing.
Ask my dad. We're running out of things to buy and you just resort to that. But I think that's it. Don't be afraid to ask and say, look, you're coming over for Christmas, we're doing some presents. Is there anything that you're thinking about buying that we could get for you or contribute towards that is actually then useful and meaningful, that they get some benefit out of?
I know some popular gifts are things like books and CDs and things like that, but if you just make a choice in the dark, it could be a totally inappropriate choice. But if somebody's got if they've got a favourite band and they've got a new album out, ask them, is this on your Christmas list?
Exactly. It'd be like giving me a cooking book.
Yes. Well, no, you wouldn't read that, would you?
Well, there you go. You're completely wasted thinking I want to learn about, 6 different types of mushrooms.
Every man needs to know at least how to survive in the kitchen.
Well, that's okay. I'll just say you don't have to enjoy doing it.
Yes, it's a lot better if you do.
Yeah, it's probably a lot better after 3 bottles of red wine as well, but anyway.
Right. Yeah, so the point of the story is ask people what they have on their Christmas list. Yeah. You don't even have to verify or confirm what it is you're going to get from them. If they give you a list of half a dozen things, then you can pick one.
Beautiful. And that's where we sort of then parlay into that family environment. If you're not sure, the gift card always works.
Oh, yes.
If you're self-employed, have a word to your accountant. You might be able to claim a few of those as a tax deduction, so get some tax advice on that front. But again, it's the thought that counts, not the present or the value of what you do or spend. So keep that in mind, because it's like anything. If you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and the Keebers and the Snydros, you're just gonna come out the wrong end of it, because keeping up with the Joneses is silly. And I think that can happen inside a family. And my strategy for that is have an agreement amongst people, a bit like Secret Santa at work. Okay, there's a $25 limit, or we're going to just buy for the kids.
Yep.
Because as adults, do we really need more stuff that we,
I know a lot of families have followed that rule just for the kids, and the adults can just enjoy sharing each other's company.
And that's probably one of the primary reasons I had kids, because for about 12 years I was buying Christmas presents for my brother's kids and got nothing back. So I had a couple of kids just to balance the ledger for a few years.
Oh, is that the story? I see.
But discuss it. If we're just going to buy for the kids, great. Because there's nothing worse than turning up at Christmas and going, oh, here, I got you this. They open it up and go, oh, wow. Oh, my God, that's amazing. I got you a box of cherries. And someone's handed you something significant.
Yeah.
It puts everybody in a bit of a spot. So if we have an agreement, we're going to just buy for the kids. We'll put a price limit on it. The other thing I would also say is, if you leave it to the last minute, panic sets in. Mm-hmm. And that is when you go and you dust crazy amounts of money running around Westfield on the 24th.
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm sorry. You got it all wrong. The only way to do your Christmas shopping is leave it till Christmas Eve. That way you get everything done in one day. Okay? Whereas if you start Christmas shopping in November, you're going to spend 8 weeks, well, close to it, 6 or 7 weeks actually doing Christmas shopping, because you'll think you've done it and then you think, oh no, there's one more thing on there, and then you have to go back out again.
Well,
so leave it as late as possible is my advice.
Look, and I'm of that ilk, trust me. But I just find
and if you forget anybody, tough luck.
and it's very much like looking at the chocolates at the counter while you're waiting at the grocery store and go, oh well, I don't really need that drink, I don't really need that chocolate, but I'm standing here waiting to check out. So, and that's what Christmas shopping is.
Here's a pro tip for you: if you are going to give somebody chocolates, don't buy them before you drive 2 days in your car to the Christmas gathering, because they'll be melted when you get there.
Right, duly noted. If you do buy online though, understand the return policies and keep all of the necessary receipts and the like, so that if you do get the wrong size or the person doesn't like the colour, at least you've got what they can take in and swap and get some value from what you've...
And a lot of shops will actually give you a gift receipt, where it doesn't necessarily show the value of the gift,
correct,
but they can use the receipt to exchange it for something else of equal value.
Yeah, and again, it just comes down to being a little bit organised and a little bit sort of proactive about the way that you shop and you buy and you record things, because it's very easy to run around with a credit card. Because the other big caveat here is tap and go is, boop, 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 is like kryptonite to a budget. Mm-hmm. So if you want to really keep it under control, take some cash out of an ATM.
If you can find one.
If you can find one and they don't charge you $3 to do it.
Yep.
And go into the mall with some cash.
Yeah, you just said
to limit the damage.
You just said the magic word a moment ago. Do you know what it was?
Budget.
Budget.
Oh,
now everybody hates that word, but here's the thing: if you're planning your Christmas shopping, that's the key to it. Plan it. Yes. Write down a list of all the people that you feel you need to buy a gift.
Yep.
Allocate, I should say, a price or a price cap for everybody.
Yep.
And then if you have any ideas of what they'd like, write that down as well. And then go and do your shopping. Be prepared, make a plan, budget for it, and that way you're not going to get yourself into trouble.
And that's where you limit the damage on a frantic 24th of December night running around the only shops that are left.
It only pays if you're organised.
Correct. And that's it. I think that's what people can take out of this is, if you are organised, you can do that. You could also then have an agreement, right? So I love this one. You have Easter, and then you have certain religions that have Easter the next week and get cheaper Easter eggs.
Right, yes.
Right? Happy days. If you're going to buy something significant, why not buy what you're going to get if cost is an issue? Buy what you want in a sale. Have some stocking stuffers and some presents to give and some little things that you can all open and have on the morning.
Yeah.
And then say, listen, I've got something coming for you, because if you do want to go out and compete within the family, and there are massive sales generally after Christmas, if you're going to buy something significant, thinking about picking it up, because you know what you could say? Well, I posted it last week, but Australia Post never got it to you, and no one will question it.
Here's the thing, bro. This is where the gift cards come into their own, because you can give them a gift card that you purchased for $200 before Christmas, but at the Christmas sales, something that had previously cost $400 might now be $200.
This
is where,
I like
and
it.
Gift cards have had an incredible revolution in the way people perceive them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time not that long ago when it was considered to be, not a very good gift because it showed that you didn't have an imagination or something.
Mm.
Now people actually appreciate gift cards.
Mm.
They like gift cards because it gives them the choice of buying what they want.
And they also then have to go back and say, listen, these undies are too small.
No, they're too small.
Can I swap them?
Yes.
Can I get? You don't want to be that person at the counter getting a price check on undies.
The other thing about Boxing Day sales is that I am aware of some people that actually go to the Boxing Day sales after Christmas and they buy all the gifts for the next Christmas and they just put them in the cupboard.
I like it.
Put them in the cupboard, keep them hidden away.
You just got to hope that you know when the next iPhone's going to drop so that you're not a year out.
There are some things, obviously, that might be time sensitive, but, not everything.
That's it. No, I like your thinking again. And that's what people should just take from today is if you're organised, if you communicate well, I think everybody loves Christmas. And if all else fails, you can turn up with a bottle of wine and 95% of people will say, that's amazing if you tell them it's expensive. And they will know no different, just like what Audi did at the horse racing, handing out the white wine and telling people it was a French whatever. And it was massively, it was $7 a bottle.
Okay.
And people had no idea. And 99% of people probably don't. So again, bottle of wine never went astray. But I think
know your target market. Don't be giving a bottle of wine to somebody who doesn't drink. But
no.
There are some things that are pretty universal. I mentioned a box of chocolates before,
and
it sounds glib, but actually, in some cases, that's all you need.
Some chocolates. Look, I'm yet to meet a woman that doesn't like a nice bunch of flowers.
Exactly.
So again, it doesn't have to be a material thing that they use. The other big thing that I think has massive value is an experience. So rather than buying a present...
Yeah, that has become a lot more popular.
And I think, I've been a recipient of one or two of those, of late, and they've been absolutely amazing. From a balloon ride to a racing car test day to something that you could do. I think the memory of what you're going to do for that person or that person with you or individually, that memory would probably outlast a material gift as well. So think about that. If you really are stuck, as long as you know the person's not afraid of heights, a hot air balloon or a rocket ship ride or whatever's available.
There are some that might be considered adventure experiences, and you have to know your audience. Don't give it to somebody who's not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to somebody yesterday who had received last Christmas a voucher for a massage. And she was saying to me, I've really got to get around to using that. I haven't used it yet.
So there's another. Look at this. We should have a show on Christmas gifts. Yeah. But that's another one.
Yeah.
Massages for the girls. Get the nails done, get the feet done. I know my little girls love doing it. So again, pick your market. Think outside the box. It doesn't have to be something that they can keep and use. It can be an experience or a service. And
of course, I'm always very fond of saying that the ideal gift that you can give to just about anybody is a book. Now,
you can.
I reckon that you happen to have one of those,
yeah,
don't you?
I think I've got one. Yeah. So, smart money strategy. It's, again, pick your market. Your 7-year-old might not enjoy it, but, and if you're 95, it might be a bit late for you, but, that's okay. You can always learn, can't you?
Absolutely. It's about 12 minutes to 5 on 2CC. Luke Smith from Envision Financial is with me in the studio today. How to do Christmas without blowing the bank. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Well, it's about 8 minutes to 5. It's a Friday afternoon. Luke Smith from Envision Financial is with me in the studio, and today we are solving all of your Christmas problems. Not only are we giving you very good advice on how to do Christmas without blowing the bank, we're coming up with some fantastic Christmas gift suggestions as well. So, Luke, what are the key things people need to remember?
Yeah, so as we said before the ad break, I think the first way to sort of limit the damage is shop with cash. Take an amount in, and as you said, have a list, be prepared, put a dollar value to it, discuss it with your family. Are we buying for adults? Are we buying for kids? Do we have a price limit? Is it just kids? Do I know what those kids like? Do I know what I'm going to buy for? Have a word to mum and dad, aunties, uncles. Because the kids, there's nothing more soul destroying than watching a kid get something that they've either got or really don't like. And they look at you and go, So be prepared. The other one, if you are going to go bananas with a credit card, bring the limit down. You know, if you've got no self-control, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I love it. I love a shop. Everyone knows I'm as good as anyone at doing silly things. But to limit that damage, maybe speak to your bank, log into your credit card on your phone and bring your limit down, if nothing else than to just make you aware of a ceiling that you've hit, rather than thinking, oh, well, that was only that was only that, and you find out it was 3 times that in January when your bill comes. Make sure that if you're going to do something, you have a receipt. You get the gift card receipt, you get the physical receipt, you keep it so that the gift can be returned or swapped. I think if you're going to buy the gift card, I think they're, as you say, a wonderful idea, because it shows that you care, but you also then can admit that I had no idea what size you were, so nobody gets upset. And then make sure that, you know, it's posted in time, it's wrapped in time, you've labelled it correctly, and it's really about having some fun with your family, because everybody works really hard all year and everybody looks forward to a break over Christmas. And I think taking the angst of Christmas out, in addition to the family members that are cooking and preparing and all of that goes with it, if all else fails, a couple of bottles of wine always go down really well if you're not sure what somebody likes.
Now, you've also suggested that people who like to shop online should be aware of a couple of things. First of all, how long is it going to take to get delivered?
Yeah.
Because here we are, it's the 6th of December already.
Yeah.
The clock is well and truly ticking now.
Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, is understanding what are the return policies for those items bought online.
Exactly right. That's a big one, because there can be a lot of frustration when you think about, well, I'll just swap it for that. If you can't, is it returnable? Is it equal or lesser value in a store? And again, be across the postage, because I had something personally this week. It's going to be overnighted Monday.
Oh yeah.
It arrived today.
Yeah.
You know, and it was interstate overnight, which was an entire week. So again, err on the side of caution, because you don't want it turning up on the 7th of January for a party that you didn't attend.
Yeah, those postage and delivery charges can be quite nasty. I've bought books from the UK where the delivery is just a few dollars, but the same books being delivered from the United States, it's like $25 postage from the US.
The postage is more than the book.
Yes.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I've seen that. You know, it's just it's crazy. So always look at those postage and delivery charges.
And the other one there, very quickly, is if you are going from overseas, check the conversion rate.
Oh yes.
Check that, because that's a mistake.
$50 US is a lot more in our money.
And the other thing is, if you're doing it through PayPal or you're doing it through eBay, see what their rate is.
Yep.
Because the US dollar might be trading at 65 cents, but if they're going to price it at 62, you'll actually see a credit card entry that is more than you were expecting.
Yes.
Because of the conversion rate. So just keep those little tweaks in play.
Lots of things to keep in mind.
It can get sneaky.
Yes. Exactly. In fact, avoid using a credit card if you can. Okay, because that way you know you haven't overspent your limit. How's what am I asking now? Where can listeners get more information? That's what I'm asking now. There we go.
Yeah, so office 6260-4749. We've got envisionfinancial.com.au on the internet. We've got the podcast, The Strategy Stacker, Luke Talks Money on iTunes and Spotify. We've got Envision Financial Canberra, where you can subscribe on the YouTube channel. And we've got all the shows and a backlog of all of the information, so you can sit and watch the show on your iPhone. And all of these sorts of things are in a wonderful Christmas gift. Imagine if it was Christmas. Smart Money Strategy, your ultimate guide to financial planning, in all good bookstores, Amazon, and back with Booktopia.
Fantastic, Luke. Have a wonderful afternoon. We'll catch you again next Friday.
See you next week.
Luke Smith. I just hit the wrong button then. Luke Smith from Envision Financial back again next Friday. News is next.